Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. It is the 2nd of October. So far, overnight, it's just been going sideways. I did take a trade again last night on my Funny Futures account, and again did $1,000. So that's 3 nights in a row, actually. Sorry, 2 nights in a row, I think. So hopefully, in the next couple of days, I should be able to take a payment from them just to see how they. I've not had a payment yet from my Funny Futures. So let's see how we get on. Okay, just excuse me a second. I'm missing a phone. Bear me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, where are we? Let me have a look. Okay, so yeah, sorry, just going sideways at the moment. Tony, isn't it? K3, yeah, Tony. Hey, Tony, how you doing, buddy? So anyway, my Funny Futures funded still. Is my Funny Futures yet? It's still AE. Not sure what you mean there, but AA. Not sure what you mean there. You might have to elaborate a bit more. I think I'm just up to a little over $2,000 on that one. Evaluation. Funded, yeah. I've been doing an overnight trade. We got to see, I actually went long overnight. We had those 2 legs down and I went long about here. Liquidity there, big chunk of liquidity. Market often does that if you watch. It often pushes in one direction and then turns. So I went long gear and put my stop 1 tick above, well, actually at that bearish bar there, because that big bearish bar I thought was very likely to get stopped out there. So I got, I think, about 900 and something. I'll have a look now. So that's 2 or 3 days in a row, I think. So let's have a look. My funded futures. Yeah. 995 minus, total lies 990. 990.32. So I did the same yesterday. Got just under $1,000 overnight. Market is open, by the way. So I won't be trading this today because that's my biggest day is $1,000. So there is a 40% rule. So I won't be trading this my funded futures account tonight. I kind of like doing it. I've been pretty successful. I've got it right 4 days out of 5, I think, overnight. It tends to push off in one direction, then turn. But obviously, the context is we've had this big push up. We've had 2 legs down, so I expected it to pull back a little bit and pick off liquidity. And that was a chunk of it, I'm guessing. So we'll keep it on this today, but I won't be trading it on my Funny Futures. So let's have a look. So let's say we got on a good day yesterday. One nice trade, $300 times 3. So we got a channel with a break or a leg and a leg. That one I left. It looks like a bit of a weak position, that, and sometimes it'll trigger, come down, stop it out, and then give us a push up in that direction. So I left that. Let's have a look. So, wait a minute. So the only news we got that I'm aware of, it's all right. Someone's just posted some news. FOMC member speaks. It must be medium impact news. I've not got that on my chart. Keep an eye on that. So the only one I'm aware of is looks like a possible channel from yesterday and today with a break and a retest. Yeah, it's weird how Mac never talks about that. Mind you, if you're going for a scalp, it doesn't really matter what it did yesterday. If you're only going for a point at a time, really. Mind you, you would still think it would be worth being aware. Probably somewhere about here, I'm guessing. Yeah, it doesn't actually fit that bad, that, does it? I mean, you'd still think. I mean, all right, he goes for a point, which is neither here nor there, really, does it? It doesn't really matter what it did 5 minutes ago, as long as he catches it in the right direction. But, excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. What was I saying? Matt, yeah, he never talks about what something did yesterday. In fact, we could probably even take that to there. Yeah, actually, that actually fits slightly better. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I don't see how you can really ignore that, in all fairness. Touch, 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 touch. And it doesn't only touch it, it actually fits really cleanly. I mean, we started here, perfect touch there, near enough perfect, near enough perfect, near enough perfect, perfect. Yeah, I don't see how you can ignore that, really. Kind of a two-tier, isn't it? Then we make sort of use of both tiers. Jan, how you doing, my friend? I noticed that Mac did not. Yes, I know. He didn't mark the trade I took. He had it as a bottom, didn't he? He had it as a bit of a range. Yeah, I was surprised. I kind of get why he didn't. But I don't know, I thought the context was okay. But sometimes if I take a trade and some of you guys take it and half a dozen people, including sort of Thomas, Marco and Taylor, take it, the odd time he doesn't. But that's what I've sort of been talking about lately. Everyone's got their own slight different judgment. And I think based on your experience of the markets and your trades, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I was surprised he didn't mark it. I actually thought it was, you know, maybe an 8 3/4 out of 10 trade. I did. I didn't think it was a perfect trade, but I think for my, from my point of view, it was a trade I thought was well worth taking. But yeah, it's a weird how he does that sometimes. At that higher time frame trades we'll be looking at. Yeah, sure, yeah. So if you've got the 10,000 tick chart, that's more going to come into play, I think, isn't it? Or, well, 5 minutes or whatever. Let's have a look. Let's look at the 10,000. Yeah, sometimes you tend to forget not everyone is trading this. In fact, there's probably a lot less people that trade tick charts than there are minutes, you know, minute charts, whether it be, you know, 5 minute, 2 minute, 15 minute. I'd never even heard of tick charts before I came to futures. I thought everything was in, well, I think I was, when I started with currency, I was trading, I think the hourly, the 4 hourly, I think something like that. But yeah, this is the 10,000 tick chart from yesterday. It is good to have a quick glimpse of this because it does sometimes clear a lot of mess up. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a two-tier chart. Well, that actually sort of veers into the bottom tier, but yeah. So the Trump, yeah, see, something like that's very tempting. For that, for me, though, is a little bit too far away. Although it may work, there's going to be some liquidity. I think that's a weak-looking bar, in all fairness. But if you're looking at the trend down, we've been sort of bouncing off that midline, so this could push up. If you're looking at the range, then it may come down, and so there's multiple things going on here. It's a little bit too early. I like the range, and I think there's a good chance it's going to come down here. But also, sorry, the channel, but also the range tells me that that is quite a weak bar off the bottom. So I think this could come down and take this out, and maybe that as well. So while you've got something coming down and something going sideways, sometimes it's hard to know which to focus on the most. But I'd have expected that to get stopped out if there's any longs in there. So that one did work. But for me, it was a bit too far away from that EMA. I would prefer that top of that red bar tucked tight under that EMA in the ideal world. Markets move through institutions. Institutions don't trade. Yeah. That's the trouble, really. You are fighting those big boys, really, aren't you? Okay, so that did work. It took that out and took that out. It made sense that it was going to do that. price is determined by the stock market. Tick charts in the S&P 500 are therefore almost irrelevant. Yeah. I do like these tick charts because they look a lot more stable. The size is a lot more average than if you flick over, you know, to a 2. You've got all sorts of different size bars, and the trouble is, if you're trying to sort of, I mean, look at those. They go from sort of tiny to massive. It's not so bad here, but when we get a lot of sort of a lot of volatility, those bars they're all over the place. Sometimes they can be a bit harder to read. And your risk can be high, can be low, whereas at least we've got a good average here. And if the volatility does come a little bit, they climb up slowly. They don't just start skyrocketing. You took that higher low, did you? You went here somewhere, did you? Yeah, the trouble is with taking a long here, just at the moment, is... if we're looking at it going sideways, that to me is quite a bit off that bottom. So I would say that is going to be vulnerable. So I would expect that to come down and at least try and retest that. And it did. So that's if you're looking at the range. If you're looking at the channel, we've had a break, then you would expect the markets to come down. Either scenario, I expected price to come down. What did you say? Lower high or higher low? Oh, lower high. Sorry, man. I thought you meant higher low. Yeah, see, there's a higher low there, but then price starts again. So you wouldn't really consider that as a higher low, I suppose. But yeah, I don't think it's a terrible trade, but that's just a little bit too far away because we've had a leg up. We could get another leg up about the same, so it couldn't trigger that, stop it out, channel down 2 legs up and then come down. So that for me is just a little bit too far away from that EMA for comfort. No, there isn't really a lower high there. I mean, if you forget this and you consider that a channel, there's your first entry, there's your second entry. We make a new high, so we make a recap. But I'm assuming you're thinking probably some of the lines of that. But that for me is a bit too far for comfort because it could trigger you and then push up. So then we could have a leg and a leg. And then it could come down. Sometimes the market's a bugger. It does that sometimes. So I tend to avoid those, I do. But what it kind of is, it is sort of 2 legs up, if you like. But that second leg's not quite as big as the first one. So I'd be wary about that personally. So maybe we extend this now a little. I'm standing up for the first time in nearly 2 years. I've got my sit-stand desk up and running. And it's a bit of an odd feeling. I wouldn't say it's comfortable, put it that way. So that has played out as a channel. I don't think you can really ignore that. The amount of times it touches there, here, and then funnily enough, we're into the next day and it touches here again and gets so close. So I think you have to at least pay attention to that, which is why I wouldn't consider going long there. It's not a great bar off the bottom to go long really, and we've only really had it's a second touch, so we may come down and have a third, but that's playing out. But we do seem to be coming down in a channel now. Yeah. So we've almost got 2 legs down now. So we've got about 2 legs there, near enough. We have now anyway. So leg, we're right on there now. So we've made 2 legs, leg down. In fact, now I see that second leg. See, Matt can mark trades like that because now you're seeing it's come down. So you can see leg down with a bit of a correction, another leg down, but you don't know it's going to do that. And that's the problem, really. You can see it as a correction now, a couple of attempts to go higher. But I still think, from my point of view anyway, I prefer that the top of their main body there a lot closer to that EMA before I take that, because I have been caught out by them, so I tend to avoid them now. If all I've got to do is try and find a couple of trades a week, I quite likely stay away from that. I assume yesterday's sell-off potential today is due for the port workers strike. In fact, I'm surprised the markets haven't taken a bit more of a dump, actually, what happened with Iran and Israel last night. If anybody doesn't know, I mean, you guys are in the US, aren't you? So you may not have caught it, but Iran fired about 200 thereabouts ballistic missiles. Probably everyone knows it, but some people might just be getting out of bed. Depends where you are. Fired 200 ballistic missiles at Israel, and Israel have obviously they're going to retaliate. You would expect that. So I'm surprised that didn't take a little bit of a dive. I think the last time when it all started with Israel and the Palestinians, you know, market took, certainly crypto did. Crypto's pulled back a little bit, but not as much as I'd expected. Yeah. So I'm surprised price hasn't, has held well. I kind of thought that may gap down, but the market opened before that happened last night, I believe. So, see you on the front line together, brother. We get drafted. I don't know. What do they do about it? What happens about it? I certainly think, to a degree, you've got to keep out of people's business. When things like women and children start getting hurt and stuff like that, then maybe you can put your foot forward and say, look, this needs to stop. In fact, I was absolutely gobsmacked considering they fired 200 missiles. I don't think anybody was killed. And I was kind of shocked by that. Now, I believe, if I remember rightly, they've had this... the Israelis have this Iron Dome sort of defence system, which they've had for donkey's years, ever since I remember. And I believe that took a lot of them down. But you wouldn't, I don't know much about ballistic missiles, but you wouldn't expect them to be small. And even if you actually, disarm them, you've still got that amount of metal raining down, haven't you? So I was amazed no one was killed. I really was. But you kind of expect Israel to one person died, and that was Palestine. Way out, isn't it? It is amazing, really, that no one else was killed. I mean, it could have been I believe a lot of them was shot down, but obviously you've got that metal raining down, haven't you? So you still expect that to create some havoc. But it still amazes me how people just still can't get on. We're not back in the dark ages, and it still amazes me how people just seem to want to kill each other over land and religion and territories and stuff. It still blows my mind how cheap life is in some parts of the world. It's incredible, really, isn't it? I mean, we have our values, don't we? And we value our life and our families and our kids and all that. But in some parts of the world, it doesn't mean a lot. And it is sad. But, I mean, from Israel's point of view, you can't be targeted like that and not retaliate if you do nothing. Well, that is kind of open season to some people, isn't it? And we all know about how a lot of the Middle East feel about the Israelis where they are. But to be honest with you, I forget what time it happened last night. I think it was it about 10, 11 o'clock last night, something like that, UK time. So, that it happened somewhere in the middle of all that lot. But I'm surprised we didn't see any more of a drop there. But it pretty much just kept going sideways. So look where that's turned twice. Look, you can't deny that. In fact, considering we're in the latter part of yesterday, it's actually fitting beautifully. So what do we expect here? So I'm looking at that NQ, and we've got a leg and a leg, and we're right at the top of this. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something change on that NQ there. But having said that, if it is a channel, which it looks like it, we've had a break, 2 pushes down, 2 perfect measured legs down to a new low, and a big strong reversal. So I don't know whether that's going to slow down. I dare say it will to a degree, because if you bought here as that was going up, I'm guessing this is probably somewhere where you may be taking some profits. But that's quite a swift move, that is. 5, 10, 15, 20. It's gone up 20 points in a matter of about a minute and a half. 2 minutes, something like that. So that, to me, may be a trap, because you're probably going to get people jumping in there thinking, oh, yeah, here we go. You could micro adjust that so it fits, and you wouldn't even know it. So there's bound to be going to be some shorts jumping in there. So I would expect that to get stopped out. I'd say it's almost bound to get stopped out. It may not, but I still don't think I'd want to take a lower high here. I'll be surprised if it doesn't get stopped out. There's a gap from the close of yesterday and the open of today. See, I haven't got one. So, okay, so you got a second entry long there. I wouldn't take that short, and I wouldn't take that long. Oh, got you. So you think this is going to go up a bit more, do you? I mean, the way that's rocketing up, I wouldn't be surprised. We have had a break in a new high. That short was almost definitely going to be, because there's bound to be traders thinking, oh, look, we're at the top of this, and let's just jump in for a short there. So that was almost definitely. I'll never go short in a channel like that anyway. But we have made 2 pushes to a new high and a bearish bar there. So it's interesting to see. Be interesting to see what happens here. Now, could you open this up a little bit? You could do. If you went to the top of that. That's the thing, really. A micro adjustment down here, a micro adjustment up here can be quite a difference enough to fit that there. So, you know, if you take the bottom down, it's not. You could still get away with that. I wouldn't like to assume it was going to go down though. So, just for now, let's put it back. Because the bottom fitting nice. So, it's a bit congested here anyway, and a little bit unclear. So, what I'm thinking now is we're actually going sideways to pick up a wider channel. I think that will probably go up. We've had a break from that. We've come down. If it is sideways in a range, we've broken out, pushed in strongly. So either way, I think there's a chance we're going to go up for another leg, which should get us back up to this level here. So I'm guessing we're going to eventually find some side of a... you took 8 ticks short. You like that short. You went that one there, did you? Yeah. So it actually fits there nice. It may come slightly wider, but I'm going to leave that there because it doesn't look awfully bad. Sidewards. But sometimes you'll do this, you'll go along there, it will drop down. So this channel may be wider, but I think as we're going sideways, we're more likely to push up. So we may be up new high, one attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower, then a push up. So let's see if we get 2 pushes down. See if it comes down as low as there. So I think my gut feeling is it will settle somewhere and then continue up. I'd like to see a leg back, a leg back, and a leg back. So channel break, new high, trying to go once. I'll be surprised if this continues down. If it does, maybe this is wider. Mind you, you could go just from here to here. That would probably work. Yeah, it does. So even if you take that out of the equation, that would work. Let's have a look. It actually does work very nice. Slightly lower on the bottom, but that's the trouble here. This is crunch time. I think it'll go up personally. I wouldn't like to bet on it. Put it that way. You could say that it's not the best looking channel, but I like the way it's actually. If I touch the top there and the top there, it's actually sitting right on top of there. But just for now, let's get rid of it. What did I do with that other one? So let's find out where it settles. 1, 2, 3. I would consider that as 1. The second one, if we can push down here, touch that, I mean, push up bullish, I would consider that a triple test. Mind you, you may get caught in a triple test the opposite direction. Yeah, see, we've got a break, new high, 1, 2, 3. Now, I always get nervous about taking these when we're going up. Even if it's a triple test, I always feel odd about going short when we're going up. So that is a triple test. Took a short, but it doesn't feel natural. I don't know about you guys. It doesn't feel natural for me to go short then when we're pushing up and going sideways, because I naturally think we push up, we go sideways, we push up, we go sideways. That's kind of how we do it. We did there, push down, sideways, push down. So, although it's a couple of legs, but it's still kind of sideways. So it didn't trigger that bearish bar, did it? So my gut is we're still going to go up. I'd like to see a few bars along that line though first before I'd even consider going long. See, where would be the ultimate place here to go long from? Nowhere that I can see. Yeah, this is not a place I'd want to go long from. I'd like it to drop out of that bottom one more time. So I'm going to stick my neck out here and put that there, because I wouldn't want to go long here, mind you. Not everyone's looking at my chart, are they? Yeah, see, Thomas Wade has got that there like that with a break. I don't see how you can do that. Why would you pick this up? I'm not even, I wouldn't even believe that channel yet. I'm just guessing that it's going to find a way. So I don't know how you could, I mean, I'm not being nasty about it. I don't know how you could say that's a channel like that. And we've had a break of it. To have a break of a channel and to think about going along for a new extreme, surely you have to have at least 3 touches of it. Otherwise, you don't even know whether it's a channel. That's what you have. It's only really touched here, and it's gone from here. Now, obviously, as we know, you can make any 2 points touch. Doesn't matter where they are. So to say that that's a break and a new high... See, from my experience, usually when we push up and start going sideways, it's usually a good indicator that we're waiting for, the longs maybe to get back in here to go long again. But what do I know? So I wouldn't be able to trust that as a channel. Now we've had a drop out there. If we reverse, then I'd say they're going to be maybe some interesting going long. Let's put that there. To me, that's either a spike, and now we have a weak channel, weak form. So, yeah. It'd be nice to see that there's a formula on it. So half the width, we can go that way. So if the width is, I don't know, 3 inches, we can go 3 inches that way before we push up. It would be nice if there was a formula for these, wasn't it? Maybe there is. Leg up, and then you go sideways, half the width for the leg, and then you push up again. I don't know. So we're dropping out the bottom of this little thing here. So there's going to be some sellers here. So I wouldn't be surprised if that now pushes up. Kind of breakout pullback. So I'm still sticking my neck out here. And I'm saying this is what I'm thinking. Sideways, you think it's a break and a new high, you may get some sellers in here, all of a sudden it turns and pushes up, so I don't know. See if we can get a second entry long here. But I'd like to skim this side of what I think is a channel, or what I'm guessing it may be a channel. Seller vacuum, and now sellers are coming back in. Yeah, see, it's triggered that big bullish bar. So let's see how far it comes down. It may trap some shorts and go the opposite way. I don't know. This is just a guesstimate, really. Let's see if we trigger this. We have now push up. Yeah, I mean, just from the day's point of view, let's forget, if you forget, I mean, this is played out anyway, so let's get rid of it. But just from the day's point of view, it's a bit confusing. This, to me, is more likely, the way I'm looking at it now, a range, a bigger range. So I think it's more likely to go up, but what do I know? As I say, it's a kind of a guesstimate. So if that top and bottom were around the midline here, so we'll see. But I wouldn't, just looking at this as a day, I wouldn't have said it was bearish nor bullish, really. It's kind of mutual. So there is a second entry long there. So let's see if that stops out the long. So there's a higher low, second entry long there. Now, if this is coming down, if there's shorts in here and that pushes up there and stops them out in here, this is going up for another leg, in my opinion. So it's almost definitely going to break above there, yeah. So if you took that lower high there, you got stopped out, and now it's broke above anything there. So if you had any stops there anywhere, they're like, so for me, this is going up for another leg. I just wanted it to find 1, 2, 3, 3 nice touches of a potential side to push up for a second leg. So now we got liquidity up here, certainly there. So I would expect that. So let's see how far this leg would take us. That would take us just above this second entry long. Looks juicy, confirms nearby. So yeah, push up like that sideways. For me, we were just looking to go up, especially around this midline. It's pretty much really a range day so far, isn't it? Now I wouldn't like to take that just at the moment because it is sideways and you just don't know. You know, my gut feeling was telling me, but I don't want to just go based on my gut feeling. You know, if that was a little bit higher, I may even put an order above there, because if it hits that, it's likely going to push up and take out any stops here. And if I had done, I'd have got me 3 points relatively quickly, but it is still sideways, so it's still a bit earlier on in the day to work out exactly, because if it does trigger it and comes down and we end up having some form of a downtrend, but it's too broad for a downtrend at the moment. So I would expect it to break these highs now. Highs of the day after we've had that leg and a leg. Take profit at 3 points, but move to 2 because of highs. And of course it goes up to, it's always a way, mate. I'll tell you something, if you get greedy and you wait for more points, it comes back and stops you out. If you do nothing, it goes 10 points. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, ultimately, you never quite know how far it's going to go. You know, if it's a very bearish day and we have a really lovely correction, then those type of trades, it may be worth holding. It's finding, you know, I think the ones that cry out, this is coming down for another leg or up for another leg, were the ones that are probably worth holding on to. But there is a lot of chop around here, and we're sort of coming into the bottom of it here. So, you know, that may have been something to do with why we had that little bit of sideways. But the thing is, I've got that as another leg, and I think there's a good chance we'll get on there. But all of a sudden, that first push up hasn't got us to the top. So already we're struggling for momentum. So I wouldn't be surprised if we had a break out this channel here now. So it's, you know, I thought that might push at least straight up to here initially. So you could say that's a hidden second entry long. The bit that makes me nervous, if this is the top of the channel, we haven't got nowhere near it this time, which tells me it's losing a bit of momentum. So it may come down and test the highs here. And it has. So this is the break I thought we might have. Whenever we don't get up to that top, often we get a break. Now, just trying to think, is there something a little bit less of an angle up? I don't think so, really. No, I don't. Sometimes, I mean, you can clearly see here, you know, there's chop. We've had 2 legs down, but not between a load of chop. So, yeah, you can get caught out here. It's come straight back right into the middle of this. So, that's off the previous swing high. Trouble is, as it's starting to push up on that second leg, I wouldn't be able to bring myself to go short there. Not that it, you know, I mean, it's obviously worked, but it's not quite as high enough for me to think about, mind you, is it? If you put a line and keep it tight, that's the highest part there, so we're not far off. If I ever pick tops and bottoms, I like it. I used to pick them close to the top. I like them to break above everything else, take out any possible liquidity, and then wait for bearish. You're the only one left in there then. See, any previous liquidity has been taken out, because so many times if we have, you know, you pick a top, it'll trigger and stop you out. So if you're good at picking tops and bottoms, which I'm not particularly, well, that's probably an understatement. It's definitely my weakest point. I always tend to now go for a lower high, but I think they're always a lot more accurate if, 1, they're trapping a bull bar, and 2, they've cleared out any previous liquidity hanging around that area. Then I think the chance of us actually getting down a bit is probably a little better. I may even get rid of this. So push up, sideways, push up. It's hard to say at the moment, isn't it? There may be some sort of channel there, but There is a higher low there. That's so tempting, but there's something about this that says be careful. Yeah, that to me, I can't tell you why exactly, but it's risky as hell. I just don't like this. It looks like a leg down with a little bit of a break. I think there's a good chance we come down and test this area somewhere around about here, so that'll go. They're easy liquidity for me, I think, and that. But you just never know, do you? I'm just seeing if there was anything kind of sideways, but now this to me looks like it's sucking in longs. It's saying now, look, we've managed to hold. Quick jump in, otherwise you're going to miss the move. I've done this before. I give it a few seconds and then jump in, and then it comes straight back, takes us out. Yeah, this is risky, this is, because it's hanging around enough to entice more buyers in, but then it'll come down and take out that and take out that. It just slowly sucks you in. I can't tell you how many trades I've lost like that, so whenever it does that, I just sit clear. It goes up just a little bit, just enough to tease you in, and then all of a sudden, wham, it comes down and takes out that one, and quite likely that one. Just as I've said that, now it's going to rock it up. It's still risky. There is a failure there, but it's not trapping anything, so I can't see the reason it's going to give us momentum long. I think this is just another bull bar that's going to get stopped out. And there are, proving me wrong again. So I was just wondering whether there is something slightly wider there. See, it may fit. It may fit. In fact, it doesn't actually look that bad. I didn't think it would have fit as long as that. I thought we were going to cut through here. So, I just don't like that when you get those little bars like that with stems either side off, and it can tease you in and then just drop. Like to me, like a beautiful breakout pullback, second entry long with a higher low. Yeah, it's hard to say, really, isn't it? See that? If it touches there, it kind of fits. Did anybody take it? Let's have a look. One took it on Thomas Way's forum. We didn't have a new extreme besides that. Can evaluate the strength for the first leg. Yeah, so I don't think many took it. It just looks like it's struggling a bit to me. I wouldn't be surprised if we had another leg. Did it reach 8 ticks? That one, I'd say so, yeah, for sure. It's just not pushing up strongly enough for me, and I hate it. If we have such a nice setup with a higher low, if it's a good setup, a lot of people will take it, and that usually gives it momentum. And the way we had that, I've taken these trades before. You get a higher low like that, and it walks up very slowly, and it hangs around, and because I don't know, I think it's a thing with inexperienced traders, and I consider me as one of those. Sometimes if you're not sure, you'll give it one bar to see what happens, because so many times when you're wrong and you get trapped, it'll trigger you, come down and stop you out. And I've seen it do this. It holds just enough, and then when it holds, you think, oh, I'll get in. And I've done it so many times, and then all of a sudden it turns. it's frustrating to hell. And when it's doing that with quicks, it just makes me nervous. There doesn't seem to be any strength there. And that's what worries me. And these, for me, are easy pickings. And I think it's likely. I expect this to just come down and take out these. It may not, but it just doesn't tell me strength, this. So what was I going to do? Let's have a look. So the higher low definitely went for 2 points. Yeah, comfortably. And the failure tick less. So it definitely worked, but it just, I don't know now. I think when you've been trading a while, I tend to have this now. I don't necessarily have to worry about counting too much. I either just tend to look at it and I either feel, yes, I get a feeling that I like it and I jump straight in, or something doesn't seem right. I just don't like any of this. It's not very clear. It went sideways, it pushes up, comes back a little bit sideways. Now it's going, so it's not very clear. I don't even like that anymore. Up sideways, then we push up and come straight back. So I don't like this. I have a feeling this is going to come dropping down and take out a couple of these. So I just get a feeling now, and if I either like it and I go for it, or if I don't like it, I stay out. So I think after a while, certainly for me anyway, you get so many lost trades behind your belt, and whenever you're glued at a picture, you know, I'm looking at this picture and I'm focused on it because I've got potentially money at risk. And when you've got that much invested in a setup, you tend to remember that picture and it gets logged away in your memory bank. You know, like visiting a little town 5 years in previously, and you've gone through it again and something seems familiar. So I just tend to, there's something I don't like about this picture because it's caused me problems in the past. Which is why I stayed out. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I think after a while you get that gut feeling and intuition, and that experience tells you there's something doesn't look right about this. I still expect this to drop and to take out that one, certainly, possibly that one. I could be completely wrong, but I think when you get that, you know, a little bit of experience and that gut feeling, and these pictures logging away in your memory banks, I think you've got to listen to them. You know, it is down to experiences, isn't it? The longer you've been doing it, the more you see these things and the more you get stung. And after a while, you just think, oh, something's not right here, I'm avoiding it. But they would take the break. Even the scalp was not made, yeah. See, I go for 3 points now, flat 3 points. So if I was going for a point, some of these I may go for, you know, a little bit better, but I go for 3 points. So if I'd have taken that lower high, it would have got to 3 points. I think, yeah, it's got to push through. So it would have hit 3 points just. But when it's slow like this, when that higher low appeared, if that was a really strong setup, in my opinion, I think the buyers would push that up. Because these good setups, sometimes I jump in that quick and I'm willing to give an extra couple of ticks, because usually the good trades, they do move. You know, we've had this sideways, we had a little bit of a breakout, nice solid bar, although I left this at the moment, but look how strong that was. You could see the buyers in there. But this is an odd picture. I'm looking at this, and now it's clamming up. Now we got a good strong bar that may take it higher. I look back on my last 20 trades a week or two ago, and I worked out how much I'd have been up if I'd have scalped for 1.5, 2 points, and 3 points. And after 20 trades, I was $650 up. And what I like, because I used to go for, I think I was talking to Danny last week, and he said, why don't you try 6 ticks, go for 6 ticks. The thing I like, what I'm starting to remember in my mind now, is I've gone for 2 points for the last 2 years now. If I go for 3 points, and I would say 9 out of 10 trades at least go for 3 points, as they do for 2. So what I'm thinking now is whenever I take a 3-point win, I took one yesterday, 3 points. I take a point of that and put it in my lost bag. So when I get 3 winning trades, effectively, I've given myself a 1 losing token. So 3 points instead of 2, 3 trades, I'm up 3 points. So I've got myself a loss token. So the next time I take a loss, that covers it. So effectively, I haven't lost anything then because that extra point over those last 3 trades. So every 3 trades, effectively, I'm paying for another loss. So I kind of like that, the way that works with your psychology. It doesn't feel like it's costing you anything then. So I don't think that's that bad. Thomas Wade's just put a what's on it? So that fell so naturally 10,000 3 points. Yeah. I don't know it was a bad trade. I did say when we had that ball buy, it'd probably push up now. There does seem to be something working up there. So I'm just not a massive fan, but Thomas Wade's got it like that. Initially, it didn't look that bad, but then it's working up here. It's making sense, but I think ultimately, if you took that trade and were going for a second leg up, I think it's probably going to do it. This is kind of a triple test, but I think this is risky. Because I think there's a good chance we get up here. Having said that, we are coming further away from here. You could offset that. Absolutely. So I've been going for 2 points for 2 years now. In fact, maybe a little over 2 years. So that bar's triggered straight away, and it's turning up. Measured legs up here, so I'd expect a good chance to get up here. So if you took that one straight away, no messing, trigger just stopped you out. So it's a good idea about these ranges not to take those with these. That's why I think these legs are so vital. But yeah, every 3 trades, I've only just started doing it, but I still don't like taking losses. But if I've gone from making 2 points to 3 points, every 3 trades, effectively, I've got an extra 3 points. So I've paid for a loss, so I can completely, if I lose the 4th trade, if I win 3, lose 4, win 3, lose 4, it's like I've never lost a trade when I was scalping for 2 points. So it's kind of a psychological way of offsetting it. Offsetting it's a good word. That's exactly what it sort of supposed to do. But it kind of tells me that, 2 weeks ago, if I was only going for 2 points, I'd have been down now, but I'm not. So sometimes you've got to do these things to trick your weak mind into accepting losses. Put it this way. I was trading pretty poorly lately, and I took some really bad trades and some dumb trades. I went through a stage, and even trading dumb and bad, I was still 65% win rate, going for 3 points. It was a 70% going for 2, 75, but I could trade better than that. When I'm trading really well, I can hold about 90% going for 2 points. But I go through phases of where I'm really disciplined and I wait for really good setups and I have a great run. And it's usually, if I don't recover from the first loss, it's the second loss that seems to put me through a rough patch. Where my patience seems to go and I get a bit frustrated. So I think it's identifying where your weakness is and trying to put something in place to sort of to help that out, which is why I've done this. So if I have a nice run and lose a trade, I've offset it comfortably by going for those extra points. So hopefully that will kick away some of that little bit of frustration that sometimes can put you into a couple of a few losing trades. So we haven't hit that measured move. Starting to look like Thomas Wade's initial channel with a break, 2 legs, new high, follow back into the range. Yeah, how's he got at the moment? Yeah, he put it there. That's why I moved it there. It kind of doesn't look terrible, although it's not. I mean, ultimately it's ranging, so it's just a way up, isn't it? I mean, depending how tight you want to keep that, you could squeeze that in a bit to there. and down a bit, and then say fits nicer at the top. Let's say we've got to break a new high, but I think ultimately this little channel is irrelevant to the overall reason that we're in a range, and we've obviously got very close to the top. We've broken above these, we've come up to this level, and now to me that looks like it's likely on its way down in some manner. So I don't really think that matters too much now. I am surprised all this stuff though with Israel and Iran hasn't affected the markets. We kind of opened here. It happened during all this time, I think, sometime. And now we're above it all, so I'm surprised. So hopefully tomorrow I want to withdraw some money from my my funded futures account. It's up to a little over 2,000 now. So you can take after 5 days. I think I've traded or 5 winning days. Sorry, I think I've traded 5 winning days and 3 losing days, I think. But I think you can withdraw. I'm not sure though whether I've just hit that 40% level. I might need to do another few $100. In fact, tell a lie, I did get a bit of affiliate money. I got about $80 affiliate money. And I actually put in my UK bank details. Now, I usually have any pay that comes from Apex go into my Revolut account because it can go in dollars and I can exchange it at current market rates with no fees to British pounds. And I did that this time, but it returned it for some reason. So it did say you can put it in crypto. So I had a Kraken account and I had it paid in USDC into my Kraken account in about 3 minutes. And the beauty is, if just a quick tip, if you get paid from my funded futures, when you withdraw into your bank, they have a flat fee of charging you $20, which I think is a bit much because Plain doesn't charge you anything. But if you get paid in crypto, I didn't get charged, and I got paid in USDC and just converted it to British pounds and withdrew it. So just that's a quick point. So if you do go to take money out, just keep an eye on the fees, and if you've got an exchange, a crypto exchange, an account, then you can get it paid in, and it was in there literally within a few minutes, so that's ideal. Congrats, thank you very much, Karina. How you doing? So yeah, I've been trading my my funded futures. I've just been keeping an eye on what price does overnight, where it tends to open and where it goes. And I've had some luck with it. I've certainly got it right about 5 nights out of 3, and I've been going for about $950. So it's just something I've been playing around with. But yeah, just keep that in mind if you go to withdraw. I really like my funded futures. I'm getting to like them more and more. I like the fact that it's $76 and that's for an evaluation and a PA fee as well. It doesn't cost you anything more. I kind of like that, and I do like that over that end of day drawdown. I wouldn't be able to swing trade like that. I traded on the NQ and I saw this measured leg down, big bearish bar there, and I went long here and I targeted a tick. Well, I put my profit right on there, and I think it was about $980. That's only trading one contract. $980. It came down a little bit more and then pushed straight up, and I just left that overnight. Trouble is, when you push up like that and come right down like that, it didn't come down enough to cause me problems there, but that's the trouble really. If you're with Apex, with the trailing drawdowns, those pullbacks like that, depending on how far they are, can create problems. I just set up a Revolut account. It's great for getting money out of Binance. If you is it really? I've not used. Can we use Binance? I'm not sure. I did use Bybit, but then they stopped us in the UK from using it. So I've had Kraken account for about 3 years. I absolutely love Kraken. If you withdraw money, it's in your bank within an hour. The fees are incredibly low. I just like it. It's got a great sort of choice of coins and tokens, but I have had a couple of other accounts. I had a Coinbase account, and And I think I set a Binance account up 3 or 4 years ago. No, that's the problem. Right, okay. So because you can still have these accounts if you have an IP, not IP, and what's it called? IP. That blocks your IP address. So I think you can still, I think some UK traders still trade the likes of Bybit, but obviously you can transfer money from that account to like Coinbase or Kraken and then withdraw that way. VPN, yeah. The only trouble is with the VPN, I don't think prop firms like VPNs because they don't exactly know where you are. So I think I've heard of a couple of people have had issues with Apex. You can't withdraw to the UK. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there are ways of moving money around. I mean, I suppose what you can do, if you have got a Bybit account, you can transfer your coins to your own cold wallet and then upload it from a cold wallet to, a Kraken account or your UK exchange and withdraw that way. So I think there's ways around it. But I know the UK government are getting wise now to crypto, aren't they? I think a year or so ago, you used to be able to, I think, make about £12,000 per year tax free, but I think they're bringing it down every year. I just hope they mitigate for the losses. Do they mitigate for the losses? I think they'll have to, wouldn't they? The trouble is, especially a lot of newbies could lose. The first year I ever went into crypto, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I started buying right at the top. Just transfer UK exchange. You don't need to go via. Right, okay. Trouble is with some, it's about. I suppose it's about trying to. I don't know. Is avoid tax the right thing to say? But I don't know. I mean, it depends what you want to do with it. You can always store it in USDC or USDT. That way, it's sat there. In sort of Binance. Mind you, that if anybody watched that interview with Kane the other day, did he say lost $600,000 or $700,000 when FTX went down? So he obviously he could obviously make money, that guy, but can you imagine losing that? The trouble is, we've all heard the story. If you ain't got the keys to it, not yours. If it's you've not got it stored on a cold wallet or a hard wallet, and it's not technically yours, is it? And if they go down, I think he could still get the money back. I think he's tried to get the money, or trying, or whatever. I don't know how they work it all out, but can you imagine that? $750,000 stuck on an exchange that's just gone broke. That's the trouble, really. I think it's okay if you're trading a bit, a few hundred or couple of thousand here or there. But if you got large amounts of money, I don't know how you wouldn't have it on a wallet of some sort, even a wallet online. That's a massive amount of money to lose. That is fraud or theft. Yeah, it was what's her name, wasn't it? Was it fraud? I don't exactly know what it was. It was I forget his name now. The guy with the curly hair. I forget his name. But it was a rising star, wasn't it? FTX. Was it FTX? I think it was FTX. But yeah, massive amount of money. That's the trouble with crypto, because it's sort of decentralized. It's not regulated enough, really. And I think that's why it's so attractive, and there's so much money to make. And there's obviously a lot of tax implications. Well, I say implications, a lot of ways of avoiding tax with crypto. And I think that's why governments have, been a little bit, they sort of held a little bit back. But I think they realise, maybe we could make something out of here. People are making money. Let's just find a way of implementing, some rules or some regulation. Because the governments are missing out on billions, aren't they, in tax? There's still loads of... I got an email the other day, or somebody said to me, they'll pay me a little bit of money to advertise it on my website, to advertise it on my YouTube channel that isn't KYC. So, if you're not KYC, no one really knows who you are to a degree. But it doesn't interest me, stuff like that. But there's, you know, there's a lot of money. You can lose money in crypto for sure. The trouble is, it's that volatile. Most people can't handle it. I certainly can't. Because the times I've had it, I've been staring at my phone every 5 minutes. And the trouble is, it's ironic. Whenever you tend to buy, the thing drops 5%. So you're ending up losing, and then you panic and sell it. So I've really had to bite my lip and kind of ignore it. Open up a USD balance with Revolut or Wise. Use direct debit. You can withdraw. Yeah, I do. See, when I get paid from Apex, it goes into my Revolut account, and I've got the Revolut Steel card, Steel Metal. So it goes into Plain initially, and then I have it automatically coming out of Plain, going to my Revolut account, and then I just transfer it from dollars. In fact, tell a lie, Plain do it for me. They don't charge anything. But when it was before Plain, I forget it was before Plain. Before Plain, it went in dollars. Well, that's fine in Revolut. You can exchange at current market price with no fees. Monday to Friday, weekends I think there's a 1% fee. So we're a little short of this measured leg, so it came back and then it continued up. So the trouble is, it's hard to put all this into a channel, really. You may have put it without that. Oh, I don't know. So that. But there wasn't it. So channel break to push it to a new high. I don't know what's going on here. It's definitely ranging, but trouble is, if you were shorting that to the bottom, yeah, eventually get there, but you got to sit through all that chop before it eventually come down. Okay, folks, I'm just going to leave this for a minute. I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break, make a cup of tea, and I'll be back about 3 to 5 minutes. Imagine if there is something larger here. There may well be. Touch, touch, touch. I think this is only really valid if we get up out the top. Trouble is, if I'm looking at this as a channel, we've had a push up in, we've turned here, we've had a push up in, we've turned, well, so far we're holding back. So I think it's respecting this range more than that channel, so I'm inclined to just get rid of that completely. So there was looking like a failure there, but it never triggered. But there was a second entry long, but when that triggered and came down there, you wouldn't hold much out, would you? But it didn't work. In fact, I haven't even tested my...
Order submitted.
Yeah.
Order cancelled.
One, two, three. So there's a triple test there. You just can't take that really at the moment. Oh, I'm missing this. There is a bearish bar there, but it's just, I mean, at the moment, this looks like more of a channel than the NQ. It's on the time. We've had a couple of touches. I'd definitely like another one, but if we get a leg down and a leg down here, it may go a bit higher. You thought which? That one was going to fail, or the third time. Are you on about the Yankee? Yeah. It's hard to know, really. We kind of are working up, but it's kind of irrelevant if it bounces here on the top of a range and turns down. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. It's like 35, 38 points top to bottom. So you can't trade these, can't you? You don't necessarily have to wait till the top or bottom. Trouble is, I just don't see how you can go along there with all that support. I mean, it could break. It may likely will. But, in fact, it doesn't look that bad on the NQ. The trouble is, I mean, look at that. We finished right on the line. It may trigger above you and come down. It may push up, touch this and come down. Either way, you haven't got a lot of space, really. So, considering the size of the bar, it's 18 ticks. And if it hits that measured move and turns down, you're not going to get that back. In fact, isn't it like a sort of a reverse head and shoulders, an inverse head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder, which is a bearish pattern, but it's only as bearish from here to here, really. We're back at the sort of cuff of the, or the turn of the shoulder. So shoulder, head, shoulder. So that would indicate that thing is more likely to push up, but now we're here now. I mean, it certainly could come tumbling down. There's no argument with you there. In fact, if it struggles to get up much longer, it may just turn and dump. Yeah, see, Thomas Wade's got that as a break. 1, 2, 3 attempts to go higher. Well, 3 pushes up. It's made a new high on all 3 of these, but it still kind of looks a bit too bullish to go to start thinking about shorts yet. I mean, ordinarily at the top of a range, that's when I suppose you'd be thinking about shorts, but at the moment you can't really. I mean, it's clearly struggling to get above there, but it doesn't mean it won't. And price generally, with the exception of this, is staying above that EMA, isn't it? You know, me thinking about shoulder head, this could be the shoulder, this could be the head, so we could end up here, taking out some of this maybe. Daily channel touched the EMA and popped. Looks bullish on that. So, I haven't looked at it today. Now this is interesting. So the daily, we've had that bearish bar. So that bearish bar, I mentioned it yesterday and Mac mentioned it. It triggered above there, came down, stopped it out. And now look, we crossed over, came down. So this to me is kind of still an uptrend. Usually shorts like that in an uptrend are likely to get taken out. So this thing could go a lot higher. How far that? Well, there we go. We smashed straight above that lot anyway. So we are about 60 points thereabouts, up to all-time highs again, and about 51 points from stopping above that. Closing above that big bearish bar. So I wouldn't be shocked if we ended up coming a lot higher. So let's have a look. So that measured move clearly played out. So maybe it is shoulder, head, shoulder. So we could end up here. I wouldn't be surprised. And all-time highs is it there or is it higher? No, it's a lot higher. I usually have something up here. That's it, I'm guessing. No, there. So all-time highs, I usually do have something there, but extend block. So yeah, we're a ways off yet. Shoulder, head. No, that's not right, is it? Shoulder. I'm waffling now. I do apologise. Also have that spike and channel up. Yeah, I mean, once it continues up, then you can maybe look a little bit harder. But looking on that NQ, it kind of, I wouldn't say it fits better, but it certainly looks a little bit better. So, do you know something? I actually don't think that's... We touch. I don't think that looks that bad. So, whether I would want a spike and channel... well, let's try it. The trouble is, if you go spike and channel, you miss a lot of the bottom out. Obviously, depends where it goes. But if you go there to the bottom, it fits much better, I think. Let's have a look. So right from the bottom of that stem, touch. It's hard to say, really, isn't it? You like mine, do you? Yeah, it's not the most fantastic looking chart, but I do like the way. See, if you put it more of a spike, it'll hit that but miss a lot of this. And really, to trust a channel, it really needs to hit it 3 times, doesn't it? Well, that has. I like the way it's come back there and now here at the moment. The only trouble is when it doesn't get to the top, that concerns me. Having said that, this is a 2-tier channel to me, so we push up, we're working in this top tier, then we push down, and now we're working in the bottom tier, and it is, wow, look at that. I did say I wouldn't be surprised if this thing dumps, but I thought it might do it before it got above there. So Thomas has that as something like that with a break and a new high, so I don't really know. It's hard to tell today. Some days, I don't know, you're best off just getting rid of the thing altogether. Mac has some unusual ones. He makes me chuckle sometimes. He does have some unusual, you know, sometimes he'll have, well, it's more, he'll have them sort of going like that, won't he? You know, that really shallow. I think the more shallow that a channel is, the odder it looks and the less, but Mac quite often does that, doesn't he? Yeah, Mac quite often has them sort of that shallow sometimes, but I don't know. So, if that is a channel, we've had a break of it. The trouble is, I'm not massively convinced. I really like it, so I don't know whether I trust it for going long. It's better. Let's see if we have any luck with the tops. See if this gives us more of a... Do you know something? There is a possibility, and I say this, I hate it when it does that. I'm going to go from here and put that there, and I'll tell you why. If this comes down to here, push up sideways, that might not look... I don't know at the moment. I don't know if it's because that's there. Fair above the EMA would be the safest entry. Do you know something? I actually kind of like that at the moment. Touch. It kind of fits in that sort of same angle. I mean, I could push that up just a touch. It's not a million miles away there. But ultimately, it could do either or here, couldn't it? Kind of confirmed just now. Trouble is, sometimes it's just, it pushes off in different angles and it does make it a bit harder. The trouble is, if you don't know whether it is a channel, it's kind of hard to go, you know, trade in that direction without confirmation, because at the moment we are still going, the overall we are going sideways. It's a tough one. Midline looks good, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad, does it? It's kind of working with it nicely, isn't it? I just don't like it when we miss a bit out, but Matt does it all the time and he doesn't seem to bother him, so I can, the thing is, you've only got to look on the guy's chart sat next to you, and that body could be slightly high. If it was slightly higher, it fit perfectly, so I think it's negligible, that. Trouble is, as we've pushed strongly below this, I don't think I'd be confident in going long until we get back above it. Because as we know, when we break out of these ranges, often we do fail and we come back in. I'd like it to sort of push up again, really, to tell me we were going higher. But at the moment, we're still quite a bit off from the top. These last two medium legs up. Measured, so May already. Breaking a new high. Yeah, that's the trouble, really. You can draw this in about 3 different ways. Thomas Wade's got it, has already had a break. So, yeah, let's have a look at this. So you've got Thomas Wade saying we've already had a break, 2 pushes to an eye. That, mate, I'll always like to have 2 pushes. You can see 2 clear legs up. But then Taylor's got it slightly, is it like mine or slightly different? Slightly different. So he's got the break here now. So ordinarily, Taylor be thinking up. Thomas Wade could be thinking down. So when it's not clear, it is hard to make an informed choice. As well. If we definitely had a channel with a break a new high and we were looking at something like this, your natural thing would be thinking about what looks a good short, but you've at least got to give it a chance to sort of engage that line and then see what it plans to do. Mac has it in a range with a break. We're looking for a possible measure. Yeah, Mac has some odd channels sometimes. But he's obviously been doing this years and he knows how these work, so he knows and I don't. So I can bring that down a bit. And it works with that. The only trouble is you may say that's a slight overshoot, but we've only really touched it a second time. So is that the true top or is that the true top? If we'd had 2 or 3 there, then I'd say it's an overshoot, but I can't see how you can say it's only touched twice. One's touched, one hasn't. But at the moment, touch. He's got the top at 62 and the bottom at 38. So he's got the top at 62, which is where mine is. And you say 38 here. It's funny you should say that. I saw one of Taylor's, and he had something similar. I think he's got rid of it now. Let me have a look. Yeah, there. He's changed it now, but I'm guessing it's something like that. Taylor had that, when's that? 12 minutes ago, but then he's changed it. Oh, no, he hasn't. Tell a lie, it's still there. So I'm guessing that's what you're on about. So he's got it like that. Someone's in a short there. He's sent the break, 2 pushes to a leg down. I don't think it was a bad short. I just don't know whether the context fitted for me. I didn't know whether we were going to put down. As for the setup, I don't think it's terrible, but I'm just not sure whether this is going to continue up or whether it's going to come down. But at the moment, if you've got your channel like that, you can't really go short at the moment. So from my point of view, I'm just going to sit and wait. What the hell's going on there? trend is over. The context looks too bullish. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, look, whether we're even fit in a channel or not, we're clearly making higher lows, aren't we? Higher highs and higher lows. That high's a lot higher. Even up there, this is higher than that. We're clearly making higher highs and higher lows at the moment. So, not that I would want to go long just yet. I'm just giving this a little bit of space to sort itself out because it is going a little bit. It's one of these turning places, isn't it? Whether we can either come down into the range and it's just a normal range, or whether it is going to hold and continue higher. But at the moment, we just have to sit and wait, really. So it's in a bit of a plateau there. I don't know what you guys are watching in the evenings at the moment. I'm going through the Blacklist again for about the third time. It's nothing nicer to sit down after a day, have a couple of scotches. Yeah, I'm watching the Blacklist. Yeah, it's a great program. I liked it. Makes me want to go out and buy one of those hats. I just don't think it suits me. I think I'm a little bit out of my era. But you just started Billions. Yeah, I've done Billions. That's brilliant. Loved it. I didn't watch it that long ago, to be honest with you. I think it was did I finish it maybe 3 months ago? Absolute brilliant. It's just really comical in parts as well. I like it. It's brilliant. In fact, I even tried to get my wife to watch it. I showed her a couple of bits. But yeah, Billions is great. It was a show. They made quite a few of those, didn't they? And what's it I watched recently as well? Suits as well. I only started watching that 6 months ago. The thing about it, if you don't watch, the trouble is, if you're going back, some time, you got to wait every week to watch an episode. That used to fry my brain. So look, it's starting to look like a repeat pattern. You had the same strong sell pressure before. Then we slowly climb up to a new high. So we're just trending really still, aren't we? I think. So got a channel down with a break. We got 1, 2 attempts. So you could say, okay, we'll look for triple test here, but there's no bar to go long there, unfortunately. So there's nothing you can do on there. But obviously, there's been buyers come in. So that's another reason why I wouldn't take a short there. I mean, it went for a few points anyway, so it's irrelevant. But at the moment, where we're still moving up, a short for me would just be a bit of a risk. It may not come down that far, but so yeah, unfortunately, it just sort of goes up. There's no sort of indication or way in really from certainly not on my chart. But we could. That's why I moved that way a minute ago. We could probably take that down a bit. We may start going a bit sideways. See, I'm still thinking upwards at the moment. Look at this bar here. Long triggered stop dates. I think, as a price action trader, you would naturally think there's a good chance price is going to sort of work up to there, to liquidity. Can't see a lot more liquidity right down here maybe, but you would tend to think price will be working towards the top of here, so obviously up. Now, it might be easy on a daily chart, but the slightest move in either direction can mean half a day's move on a 2,000 tick chart, so it doesn't really help us to a degree, but it does seem like we are bullish at the moment. So I'm certainly not thinking about shorts at the moment. To me, these rallies and trends range. You want to call it that worse? Yeah. It is easy to get chopped up. Yeah. Yeah, when it's doing this with sort of, I mean, it's got direction, but it's a little bit unclear at times. You know, we sort of went up there. I thought we were going to continue up. Now we did, but not quite at the angle I was expecting us to. We got very close to the top here, and we are going up, but it is very whippy, so it is very easy to get caught out. Unfortunately, there's no way in there. Certainly from my chart, there isn't. But that's not between that. Yeah, it's definitely airs on the side of bullish, but at the moment we've come down and we've gone up. We've had a break out the top, which reversed pretty quickly, and now we're just creeping above that again. And already it's looking like it may come back in. So I think really overall, certainly in the moment, it's just a range day really, which means it could turn down here. If it does continue up, obviously then things are different. But you could say there's a couple of legs down there, so we could have a couple of legs up. I mean, this is all speculation really, isn't it? But really, if you don't know what direction it's truly going in, it's hard to trade it really. You know, if you took that and traded it as a range, it did work, but then it turned and pushed up quickly, which telling me it's more likely working up, or it's got, you know, it's still got some more upward stuff to go. Yeah, someone else has got my channel now. He's put that in. So he's looking. It's always nice to see other traders thinking the same thing. He is as well. When did he put that up there? 3 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago. Tom's still got it. Thomas has still got his like that. Mr. Pricey has had that up there for 6 minutes, so it is looking like it's working high. In fact, it looked like, did he mark that or did he trade it? I think he traded it. That's his, what's it there? So yeah, he did take that. So yeah, that's the general thought. I think that we're still working up. Trouble is, it's so dangerous. Even if we had a second entry long here, I wouldn't want to take it. So if you look on the NQ chart, that channel there, depends how you're looking at it. I mean, we've only really touched it twice, but it visually looks okay. It's touching the top. We've got a break and a push up. See, this looks like it's targeting these areas. So if this goes up, the ES will likely follow. Mind you, it's struggling there. So we have already pushed up once and pulled back. So that's looking a bit uncertain. Yeah, price has just put the 10,000 tick. It just looks exactly as we've got it really. It's working fine there. Big strong bar off there. See, if you look at these charts sometimes, big strong bar off there, pushed up, big strong bar off there, pushed up. So it does look like we're continuing higher at the moment. Trouble is, it's hard to go long at the moment, whether you're flitting up against this top bounce, 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 pushed above, pulled back. It's just hard to trust it at the moment that we're going to continue up, because every time we manage to get above here, we pull back in. We pull back in pretty quickly there and there as well. There's a little double top there. We're struggling to get above there a little bit, which means this thing could absolutely dump. The midline fits super well. That channel looks valid to me. Yeah, someone else mentioned that. It doesn't fit too bad, does it? You can see it there. It's definitely playing a part, and there as well. And we're up to it again there. That's the trouble. Do you know, the times I've sat here before and think this thing's going up and you're jumping with a trade here, and it always seems to, when you lose your patience and think this is going up, I'll jump in, it almost always triggers you and stops you out. It's uncanny. You almost feel like you're being watched and someone's saying, as soon as you go long, we'll stop him out. It's uncanny how it works. It really is. I think sometimes if you're going on tilt, you'd be better off not even look at the chart, just hit the buy or sell button. Because if you I think it's designed, these algorithms to sort of input where traders are likely to get into weak positions. And it's very clever. It's been designed very clever, or programmed very clever, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think sometimes if you start to lose your patience, you're better off not looking at it and just clicking buy or sell. I think you've got just as much chance, probably more. Might got that feeling when the market is watching you. You place your order, they fill you and they start. Yeah, it's how canny is it? It's unbelievable. It does make you think, how the hell can that happen so many times? And from what I gather, a lot of these are run by algorithms, and I've heard that they use Harvard maths experts or something to program these things. I don't know how true it is or whether it's bullshit, I don't know. But it's something's against you. Switch the buy and sell label. Switch the buy and sell labels on the buttons. Switch the buy and sell labels. Wait, what do you mean? You mean switch them off? Or switch them on? See, I have them on at the moment, but sometimes when I get a bit too excited, I tend to just click buy or sell. I got them on at the moment. In fact, I said the other day I was going to get rid of them. Yeah. The thing against you is simply, yeah, it is. It is. The trouble is, if we're losing our patience and we're getting in with noise and thinking, oh, yeah, it's going to go up here, we'll buy you. And then it triggers you and stops you out. Yeah, it's why you have to get into a good position now, whether you think this is a good trade or not. Now we can see what's happening. You can see kind of why that worked and why that worked. So if you knew this was going to happen, the place to get into it, I mean, as close to the email, I mean, look at that. There is a possible second entry long there. My God, how tempting does that look? There's also a failure, is it? Yeah, the trouble is it's pushed up, touched this line and come back. It's very tempting, that, isn't it? Very tempting. The trouble is it is a bit choppy and it could sting you here. Is it likely to work? I just have this, I tend to look at it now and think I love it and I jump in, or if I hesitate and I'm not sure, I always think I'm best off leaving it. And yeah, sometimes it does, you know, it does, but the way I see it is there may be some shorts in there. So maybe it worked. But it's a 14 tick rest. Then you've got a tick above, tick below. Algorithm muff by, yeah. Millionaire, exactly, yeah. So the only way really to get into a trade and stand off a chance is wait for a good setup. You do anything less, it'll just chop you up. And you kind of learn that the hard way. I don't think it's a terrible setup. It is 2 legs back. This is making me a little bit nervous, and we are struggling to stay above this line. So if I want to go long here, do I think it'll work? I think it's got more chance of working than not, but I just... the overall context is the market is every time we get above here, we're reversing. And this could be a triple test, and it may come rocketing down. Has it made anything? See, I'd have gone for 3 points here, so if I went there, I wouldn't have done well. You wouldn't have got 2 points yet. Now, if it manages to get above that line, you may have a shot, but If it gets above here, we got a leg up, 2 legs back. It's not looking too bad, actually. But I still think it's risky going along into that because we could get a triple test in. This thing could tank. We've actually, on this channel I got on now on the NQ, we've made 2 pushes up to a new high. So this could come down. But we've got to push up, 2 legs back. You know, my gut feeling tells me to be careful here, but I kind of think it may push up. But every time we've been up, the first time we reversed, pushed up, we pull back again. So that's why I think it's risky. Look at this. We're struggling now. And this, technically, channel down, 1, 2, 3 is a triple test. If it ends up bearish, which I don't think it's going to now. Yeah, I still... It is working, I think. Mars kind of piss. Yeah, it's struggling to get up. And my experience is sometimes when it's struggling, the slower it moves up, the quicker it comes down. And sometimes it'll just flush and it'll happen out of the blue. Whenever it's really struggling like this, it's got a habit of going whoosh like that. And that's what worries me. So a tick above there, you'd have got 2 points. You'd have got 3 points. Not yet, but you're close to it. Thereabouts. I think it'll break above that now. Yeah. So it did work, but I just think when we've pushed up like that in a big bearish bar, we pushed up again and come down. Having said that, it is a leg up with 2 attempts to go lower, so usually they'll work, but. We've got this channel going up, but we've also coming into contact with the top of this range. So I think going along into there inherently has a risks, I think. Yeah, leg up, sideways leg up, or leg up, 2 legs back, leg up. I haven't seen anybody on Thomas Wade's forum taking it. Tell a lie. There's one that I can see. I think Taylor took it. I was very tempted. Very tempted. No, Thomas is in it as well. I was very tempted. But every time we get above this line, we pull back. And that's what makes me a bit concerned. It is a push-up, 2 attempts to go lower. It's actually a second entry short, thinking about it, because that bar broke above there. But and it is 2 legs back. So, well, look at it go now. Look, there you go. So maybe it was as bad as I thought. Yeah, Taylor didn't take it. Someone said they liked the 2 legs back. That's the one bit I liked about it. The only bit that kept me out of that is this line here. Above it, below it, above it, below it. We pushed up, came back quick. Pushed up, came back, pushed up, came back. It's struggling to stay above that line, and that doesn't fill it. Thomas took it. Yeah, I'll show you. Thomas took it. Very tempting. Taylor didn't. I don't think many did. He didn't. He did. I think there was a couple that didn't, but not many. It's just one of those things, isn't it? It depends on you, really. It's hard. You know, you're the one that's kind of got to live with it. You did not like it. No, I didn't mind the setup. But the context is telling me there's such a lot of support there. We pushed up it strong, and look how quickly we came back. We pushed up it again. And so it could trigger you and flush down there. So I didn't think the setup, I mean, if it was in the middle of a lovely channel, working up, I wouldn't mind that. But the context was every time we're getting above here, we're struggling. And that just makes, you know, sometimes maybe it takes just a better position than to hold. I mean, it's not a great position to go long here, which is probably why it didn't get far. And here as well, there's no real long here, although we pushed up strong. But Just the fact that we were going into some strong support there put me off a little bit. And it wasn't a small bar, I don't think. Yeah, so from top to bottom, it's 3.5 points. So tick above, tick below. You're still risking $400 on a trade on 3 accounts. I'm not risking $1,200 into this, because if it triggers me and comes down, why didn't it work? Because you went long into support. So that's a good enough reason for me to stay out. So, do you know what? This, I think we may be moving into a slightly more of a shallow channel on that NQ. So we're at this level now. Well, we're above it. So we broke on the NQ. We broke previous. Oh no, seller lies, not previous day's high. So we've got this big push down, maybe a leg up, no leg up. So this thing could reverse now. Big move down, 2 attempts to go higher and down again. It's always possible. Well, the way that thing's coming down. So very similar here. Big move down, sort of channel down, break to retest of the lows, leg up, leg up. It's not quite as clean on here, but it certainly could reverse. Yeah, I have it at my funded futures. I saw some guy who was trading on a video, made a video, and he withdrew from my funded futures, and he put an order in 2 minutes. He got an email saying it had been approved, and 3 minutes later he got a ping up, or 5 minutes later he got a ping up at his bank saying the money had been paid. So I think in less than 10 minutes he got approved and paid. So I'm kind of looking forward to trying their pay system out and getting the payment. See how quick it is. See if it's as quick as they say. It did surprise me that when that Kane got paid out in that money, he said there was no conversation with Apex at all. It was all done with a few emails. Now, you would have thought, because Apex come over like they want to put people onto live accounts, okay? Right. Now, what type of people do you want a live account? You want a guy who can make that much money, who's clearly switched on. So why wouldn't you want to get in touch with him? But apparently, his accounts were frozen, and then he was paid out, and his account still remained frozen. Now, if you're really a company that you want traders on board that can trade, so you can copy their trades, and why wouldn't you take advantage of a guy like that? That's what I can't quite understand. And if he's a good, successful trader, why freeze his accounts? He's not done anything wrong. You've paid him, so you've obviously checked him out. You've paid him 1.8 million, and that sometimes makes you wonder. When they say they want people onto live accounts, do they really? Or do they want to get rid of people who make money? It's hard to say, really. Because 1 minute you sort of get that impression that they want traders who can trade consistently. And then when they do that, it makes you feel like, do they actually really want that? Or do they just, want to get people in who are blowing accounts, and then when they start to make money, slowly tuck them aside? It's hard to say. Apex, that guy, I put you've probably seen the video, that Kane, Trader Kane, he traded for 70 days with 20 accounts, and he withdrew $1.8 million from Apex. Yeah, Apex. $1.8 million from Apex. And he did an interview. It's the biggest prop payout ever in history. And they interviewed him, and he said Apex, I think they got in contact with him to arrange payment, but they froze his account, and he's heard nothing since. They've not been in touch with him at all, and his accounts are frozen. Well, if his accounts are there, they should still be active. You know, why not? And then you hear sort of Apex say, we don't want gamblers or windfall traders. We want traders who can be consistent because we want to copy their trades. And now traders who are making money, they're going on. We want to test and put them on probation to check whether they can go onto a live account. Well, when you see a guy that's had one of the biggest prop payments in history, who's clearly a switched-on guy and good at what he does, you would think your natural thing to do would be to make a phone call with that guy and say, right, okay, how about we put you on a live account? We'll give you some money to trade with. You can withdraw. You know, it's almost like, oh, he's made a lot of money. Let's push him aside. I'm not saying it is. But the trouble is, when you hear stories like that, you can't help but think, why would they, you know, stop all communication with a guy who's seriously a good trader? You know. But apparently he did have the accounts up to 3 million at one point. So, but he's clearly, you know, a switched-on guy. He's obviously made money in the past because he lost about 700,000 or 800,000 on FTX when they collapsed. Absolutely. Well, look, if you take me, for instance, you know, not so much now, but if I was doing something like, I don't know, 10, 20 evaluations a month or so, let's say 10 evaluations a month or something like that, and I'm giving Apex about $300-400. So they're not making a lot of money out of me. Now, times me by 10,000, then there's a fair amount of money. So you obviously want, you know, you want people to blow accounts. I mean, just talking from basically a business model, you want people to, you're going to have money coming in from people who are blowing accounts. And then when you do filter out those good traders, and they are out there, traders like that who can make that sort of money are a gold mine to people. Well, I don't know. I don't know. He made it in 70 days. Now, I understand how some people can be lucky, but you can't be that lucky for 70 days in a row on 20 accounts. I mean, 70 days, theoretically, that's over 3 months. Apex do this 3-month thing where you're capped. And I think the reason they do that is because no one's going to be lucky for that long a period of time. And he'd obviously traded before, and he'd obviously made money because he lost $750,000 on FTX. So the guy, in my opinion, can clearly make money. He comes over as very switched on and very savvy. But I mean, but ultimately, you're right. You just don't know. But if he had been a gambler and he had taken big, like Apex said, they don't want gamblers. If you're going to stop somebody's money because you think they're gambling, you'd want to stop a payment like that, because I mean that's a massive payment for a company to pay out $1.8 million. So I think if he was gambling, they may have said, well, hold on a minute, you're a gambler here, we can clearly see, you know. So he obviously had some sort of system that worked. But yeah, ultimately you really don't know the truth behind these things, do you? But I am pleased Apex paid him out, because can you imagine how you'd feel? I mean, that, for most of us, is life-changing money. And can you imagine all of a sudden Apex turned around and saying, sorry, you're not having it? I don't know about you guys, but I'll be throwing myself off the nearest bridge, pumped full of scotch, I think. Is this thing pushing up, is it? Yeah, it's hard to trade this. See, when you look at that now, it doesn't look that bad because we know where it went. But in real time, you're thinking, there's such a lot of support there. We're struggling to get through. But now you see it. It'd be easy for Mac to mark that. It'd be interesting to see if he does. So, looking on this NQ, we've got a leg down. Maybe we get another leg down here. We've come from the top like we did there. We came down at a leg with a break at a new low and a higher low. So we've got a leg down. Looks like trying to make another leg down, which will quite likely bring this down. It's funny that Apex doesn't like micro scalping because exactly how they are profitable. Yeah. 2 grand. I do feel a bit sorry for Alpine. He's getting absolutely crucified day by day. I think he's got a small payout from something of $7,500, but considering what he was taking out, I tend to watch other streamers and just see how they get on. But he's getting absolutely crippled. Has he stopped streaming? Has he? Do you know, I kind of feel a bit sorry for him because I know he was trading that strategy, that open range strategy, and he traded it before he started streaming. Because whenever he streamed, as soon as he opened his stream, you'd see $300 or $400 profit on all of his accounts. However he exactly did that, he was very successful at it. The trouble is, you may do that before you start to trade, but when you're trading day by day and you talk about this a little bit, that little bit slipped out because he did say he didn't want people to see what he was doing because he was concerned about Apex stopping him. Well, one, I wouldn't have said that, and two, if he was making that much money, I don't understand why he streamed, because the trouble is when you're streaming, you're kind of advertising for a lot of people that I've got a strategy and I'm making a shed load of money. And Apex are going to prick their ears up at some point. So whether it was anything to do with them, why they came out and said, okay, we're now not letting you trade without a stop or open range or whatever it caused him to stop that. But he was making a lot of money out of it. So if you're making that much money, surely you keep your head down, you keep out of the public eye, and you just get on with it and milk it for all you can. But then, what's her name? Kellyanne came forward and made a video. I forget what she called it, debunking Alpine strategy or something. And then volatility traders sort of started doing it as well. So the trouble is, when you earn a lot of money like that, word spreads. Everyone knows everyone in this business, word spreads, and everyone started watching it and figure out what he was doing. Yeah, he was. I mean, you couldn't trade like that with your own money, could you? But because he was using the non-stop loss to blow the account, but even with that, how do you get away with it 18, 19 days in a row till you're getting big payments? He's still got to know what he's doing to get away with it for that long. But yeah, I mean, but from an Apex point of view, if you're going to copy his trades as a company, You know, if it's costing him $85 for a PA account, that's all he's really risking. But if you give him $2,500 of your own money and he said he wasn't going to trade with a stop loss and he would allow it to blow the account, you'd be mad, wouldn't you? But the trouble is, he's struggling to trade now. He can't seem to win trades. So it's a shame, really, when someone was so good at something. But yeah, I suppose has stream schedule right. Oh, is it really? Oh, I'm gonna say I watched him. Was it day before yesterday? I think it was down about 10,000-12,000 on all his accounts. But it's a shame to see someone struggling, because you can hear it in his voice, and you can see it in his eyes, the frustration, really, especially when you're making all of a sudden a lot of money. He's going to be thinking straight away, wow. You know, he did say at times he couldn't believe he was earning this money himself, and then he goes out and buys himself that nice Porsche, and that can't be cheap to buy or run. And ever since, he's struggling, which is a shame. But that strategy really is only really going to work on a proper account. You wouldn't risk your own money like that and not have a stop loss and allow the account to get blown. You know, because it's only got to happen once and that's it. It's gone. Looks like it may be a discussion. Yeah. I did say to him, actually, I put a comment in there. I said, you really need to find a company that will allow you to trade that strategy without a stop loss, because when you were doing it, you absolutely killed it. I've never seen that many traders green day in, day out with a strategy before. I mean, literally, he must have been green 20, 30 days in a row. I couldn't believe it, because I thought this guy's got something special. But he did. What he was doing then, he was making all that money, and then he was taking trades and losing some of it. And he said he didn't want to keep the stream from being boring. And I'm thinking, forget the stream. If you're making that much money, why would you give an extra 2,000-3,000 away just to make a stream more entertaining? People don't want to see you. People want to see you making money. They don't care, you know, that the stream's boring. They want a bit of company. So don't try and make the stream exciting and risk losing your money, you know. People won't respect you for that, but it is a shame to see someone doing so well. Strategy, but only in live, yeah. Trouble is, if you've got no stop loss and you're prepared to lose the account, you can't do that as a trader. No trader anywhere trading their own money will not. I mean, they trade without stops, of course, but at some point they'll get out. They won't allow the account to get blown, because effectively it only takes up to the first time you lose a trade to completely blow your account. It's non-sustainable. But if you're only risking $85 as a PA account, that's all you're risking. So then you can, you know, if you manage to get so many days in a row and get a payment, you know, it's worth it weight in gold. Any new streams on his site? Nice that he continues. Oh, I don't know. I know he's got other sources of income. It's not his main income. God, this is so hard to trade, this, isn't it? I bet I did not look under live. Oh, yeah. If you look at live, yeah. I've not heard something. I did think you said he had a day off, because I usually watch what, you know, others go, and I look at Marco's chart. I listen to Max and Thomas Ways. I watch his video when he puts it up. And I see what other streamers have done. I look at him. I look at Nutty. I like Nutty. He's a nice guy, Nutty. He's been doing well lately, Nutty has. And that's a shame, really, because Alpine seemed to be doing well, and Nutty was sort of falling behind him a little bit, and now the tables have seemed to turn. But he's a nice guy, Nutty is. So I will usually flip through his and find out what trades he takes, and then Sam when he streams, and Bart as well. Another lovely bloke, Bart. I always look at their streams as well. I used to watch Panda, but I just stopped watching him now. I don't quite understand how he trades anymore. But he does have a big following, doesn't he? Not as much as I think he used to, but the frustrating thing with him, if you look back a couple of years, he had a lot of winning days. But lately, it's almost like his strategy's gone, and he's He's in and out of trades constantly, but I have started watching a little bit of who's the guy that wrote the book? Hoggard, Tom Hoggard, is it? Tom Hoggard, or Hugard he calls himself. He live streams for a bit as well on one of the German indices at UK time in the morning. And he took a loss of the day, down $14,000. So, you know, even guys who've got a proven track record, Panda is entertainment. That's why I put, yeah, I suppose it is, isn't it? I don't know, if someone's losing a lot, does that make some people feel better? I suppose it does in a way. If you're struggling yourself and you see someone else struggling, perhaps it makes you feel better. I don't know, human beings have got a strange way of how things make you feel sometimes. Trays, the DAX, the FTSE, and the NQ. Tom Hoggard, yeah. I didn't realise he wrote the book, didn't he? He wrote that Best Loser Wins book. But yeah, he took a trade, and I think he lose $14,000 that day. So I don't wish anyone lost, but I kind of like to see that, you know, because sometimes we put these traders on a pedestal and think they just never lose. And it's nice to know that even, you know, the sort of the well-known traders out there, you know, still have bad days. We kind of know they do, but you do question it sometimes. But do they really, you know? But yeah, he trades, I think UK time. I think I've seen him trading from around about 8:30 in the morning UK time, I think. So live trades is 300k account, is it really? So that's just average day for him. Wow, 300k. So he lost 40 grand, so 300k. So 30k is 10%, 3k is 1%. So if he was down 14, he was down about 1, 2, 3, 4%, something like that for the day. I mean, when I first started learning to trade, the guy I learned from, what's his name? I've gone blank. Currency trader from London. He talked about 1 to 3%. But I know I watched him trade, because you could watch him trade certain mornings, and I know he only risked 1%. The guy wasn't short. Even when gold took a tumble, his gold total went down by 45,000. So if it dropped by 45,000, you can imagine how much he has in gold. He has. Oh, does he have a Telegram channel? Does he? He started with R. Brooks. Did he really? Interesting. He's like you. He's kind of like your favourite uncle, R. Brooks, isn't he? But I don't know if I'd want to get into a conversation with him, because I think he'd probably put you to sleep. Yeah, Andrew Lockwood. That's it, yeah. I liked him. In fact, I put a little mention on my website to him. He's the one that spurred my interest. He started trading. Well, he started as a T-boy or a runner, I think, or whatever it was, in the London Stock Exchange during the 80s, and eventually worked to the trading floor. And he worked for some big city banks at various places around the world. But I remember he told me once in an email that when he first learnt to trade from a computer, when he left working for banks himself, he lost 150 grand. But I liked him because he explained things really easy. The course I took with him was like a 6-month course where he teaches you to trade from a complete beginner. He even breaks down what a candlestick is, what it does, however. And I like that, because obviously newer traders, you need all those details, you know, what a candlestick tells you. We look at them every day, so we take it for granted. But when you're a new guy, you haven't got a clue what they mean. But I like it. He teaches you from the very basics, and it's very easy to follow. So it was a good experience learning with him. And I think it was only about £300 I paid for 6 months, which I thought was pretty reasonable. He does a lot of seminars and always invites Brooks. Oh, Tom Hoggard does he? Yeah, I think Al Brooks, a lot of people say he comes over as boring. He's got the big glasses. He's like your sort of he's like the unpopular uncle, isn't it? But I do believe he's a master when it comes to price action. And you can kind of tell why. It's almost like he's got 3 brains crammed into that head of his, isn't he? He's just one of these guys that has just kind of made it his life. Because I believe he trained as a doctor initially, didn't he? Did he go to medical school or something? But you can't help but sit in front of these charts day by day and get better and better. It's so hard to trade this. There's nothing you can do up here, really. Trouble is, at any time this could come down to here. I'm surprised we haven't had a visit around the top of this range or the bottom of this channel, so there's just nothing we can take here. There was nothing here. That one now doesn't look too bad, but in real time, I thought it was a little bit risky for me, although it did work. Once it got above here by a few ticks, it eventually started pushing strong then. But, you know, as a setup itself, I don't think it's that bad. But when we've been up here a bunch of times and it's failed, the more it does it, I think the less chance it has. So apart from that, there's not a great deal I can see. I wouldn't want to take that with only really being here. That was another one that I undenied about. You know, we're going sideways there. As we know, most breakouts fail. So we pushed up there, then triggered that bearish bar, and you're going to have shorts thinking, yeah, we've got some bulls trapped here, let's go short, and it does the opposite. It traps them, pushes up. Once it breaks above here and here, it goes up strong. So that, I don't think was a terrible trade, and I like the way we pushed up. We were sat on this midline, but I just stayed out of it. I just wasn't sure, but that's the thing. When you can see what happened, you know, there's the final pieces to the puzzle there, and you can see, okay, well, that makes perfect sense. In my gut feeling, we were going to push up there, but it was just a gut feeling. It's not as trustworthy as I'd like it. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on the news and find out what happens with this Israel-Iran thing and how it's going to affect these markets. Mind you, from a trader's point of view, I think bad news is good for traders, isn't it? Or is it? Now, I didn't start trading just till after COVID. Now, so I don't know what happened initially when COVID hit. I know in the UK, I forget, was it around 2020 or 2021? I think it was in the March. Was it something like March the 26th where we went into lockdown? So I don't know. In fact, I may have a look at some streamers and see if there is any around about when it kicked off and see what happened to markets. But I believe, I don't know, obviously you guys have been trading longer than me. Didn't the market close for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days? Which I believe is the only time it's closed in the last 50 or 60 years or something like that. But obviously, you know, volatility, price, a lot of going down, I suppose, creates opportunities. Just can't go long up here, really, can you? Right at the tops. There's nothing you can do here, really. So, there's a triple test on this 2-3 on this NQ. Whereas we've got a leg down and sideways. I wouldn't be surprised if you had another leg down, which would take us around this area. That's if we did. It is like an inverse head and shoulders, isn't it? Shoulder, head, shoulder. That daily is still trying to push higher. Okay, so we may get this pushed down now on this. We need to, really. I don't think you're going to encourage buyers there. We've got to get another leg down here, really, here somewhere. That's the only place to go long somewhere, isn't it, if you're going to leg and a leg. Okay, so that cleaned out any stops that may have been there. There's still probably some there. So oh, that's tempting. No, that's just too risky. This, I know it is working around that middle line, but with the bottom of the channel here, it could trigger and come down. In fact, I think I wouldn't be surprised if this triggers that and comes down to this area. It's just too risky, I think. It's just too risky. Taking a long there. What a count. It is a second entry long, but that's just risky in my opinion. It's going very much sideways at the moment. So we've got a leg down. I think there'll be another leg down here. And if there is, for me, this is going to get stopped out. So a few ticks away and that'll get stopped out. I'll be surprised if it doesn't. It's not coming down as quick as I thought it might. This is pushing down quite quickly, so I thought this would come down and take that out by now. So it may hold. Okay, so leg and leg down. So we're in this area now where it could bounce. Touch, 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 touch. A leg and a leg. I can't trade this at the moment because my MyFunnel Futures account is up $990 for the day, so I don't want to go over any more otherwise. I'll hit that 40% rule, so I don't think that's a bad trade. Hidden second entry long, leg and a leg, 2 clear legs down. Whether I wait for a higher low or not, I prefer that stem to be further down and the bottom of this to be sat in that line to make me feel comfortable, because it could trigger it and come down just a touch more. So that second entry long on the ES did get stopped out. I thought it might do. So it triggered, stopped it out. So that's triggered. I'd wait for that myself, because the bottom of that bar, the main body of it's so far off the bottom of that, that could come down, break out a little bit more. I don't think we've quite had 2 measured legs there anyway. So a leg and a leg. It might hold. I'd be nervous about that there. I'd really want a higher low further up, I think. But it is 2 legs down, although albeit this second leg isn't as come down as much, but I don't think it really matters. Trouble is, out of all those bars there, the main part of that lower part of that body is the furthest away from that line, and that makes me nervous. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so you'd have got a trade out of that. So leg and a leg. So that's confirming that quite nice now. Touch there, close enough there, touch, a couple of touches there, and that as well. It's fitting nice at the top, so that channel's fitting nice, so no reason why that can't continue higher. Trouble is with this, it's so odd. It is still choppy. It's very easy to get stripped. It's very easy to get stuck in this. So push up, top, bottom. So just for now, I'm going to get rid of that. So there is a kind of a bullish bar. It's a doji, but it's still on the bullish side. Trouble is we got a leg. We could have a break and another leg taking us down to here. So that wouldn't do it for me, really. Hmm. That's interesting. So, can't be thinking about shorts at the moment anyway, because we're clearly working up. Yeah. A little bit too far away from me. I'd have preferred a higher low there, but we had a leg and a leg, like you say. Failed breakout. I can't trade this at the moment because I've kind of hit my limit on my funded futures. But yeah, sure, yeah. Failed breakout. It's kind of a hidden second entry long. This looks like it's continuing off. It's where you want it to bounce from. Unfortunately, this is just looking a bit precarious. There was that one. You could have took that one. It worked. I don't think it was the worst trade in the world. We're clearly bouncing off that line. We broke out of it, cleared out any possible liquidity, but there's just nothing. There's nothing really obvious. It's a little bit clearer on the NQ. Yeah, no, that was a bad trade. I'd have preferred the body down a little bit, but I referenced the failed breakout. I think that gave it extra credence. But at the moment, this is, I don't know, we could get a leg down and a leg down. We've just come off the bottom here. We haven't quite been down here. We're kind of flitting around the middle, right? And that sort of midline is pushing straight kind of through the middle of that. We got these two little sort of triangles on the side. So it's hard to say. We could have a leg and it may come down here. So there's just nothing to go long for at the minute. Kevin Bonder. Ooh, that's a new name. How you doing, buddy? How can you get them? Okay. So Apex is on Rhythmic. If I bring this in here, Apex is on Rhythmic. So if I click on connections, you can see my Rhythmic account and my funded futures is on Tradeovate, so I can get them both run at the same time. So there you go. So there's My Fun of Futures and that. So as long as they're on different platforms, what's the word? Well, our data feeds or whatever you want to call it. That's how it works. So if you do sign up My Fun of Futures, you go into Tradeovate, log in Tradeovate, then close it down, come into My Fun of Futures. Sorry, come into Ninja Trader, and then do that. So you can run them together. You must have a multi-broker license with Ninja Trader, I believe. Multi-broker. I have a lifetime license, if that's what you mean. I thought you could do it anyway. I'm sure a couple of people have told me that you could do it. Sorry about the banging. I thought it was because you're trading one on Rhythmic and one on Tradeovate. That's why I was aware. I don't know whether it's anything to do just because I've got a lifetime license. I didn't know whether that had anything to do with it, to be honest with you, but maybe it has. But yeah, that's how you do it basically. I think it works. I'm pretty sure. It's nothing to do with the license. I think license correct. Different. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's different data providers, because although I have a license, I have my own code. If you go into the settings, I have my own my code for it. But before that, I didn't use it. I only used it initially because I was trying out, because you can now use order flow, and it's free if you have a lifetime license. So I was using Apex passwords, so there'd have been no sort of connection, I don't think, with me, because obviously I've been going through Rhythmic, but I think it's because you're trading one on Rhythmic, one on. But it's nice to have the two. I've not traded them together on. I tend to swing trade it overnight. If you had any payouts from me, yes, I had a payout from My Fun of Futures for I have an affiliate link for it, and I think I got about $90. But I've only really recently started using them in the last month, and I had it paid. Well, I opted to have it paid because I'm in the UK, as you know. For some reason, I went to put it in my bank, and the bank returned it. I don't quite know why. So I have an exchange account at crypto exchange, and I opted to have it paid in USDC, and it was paid and sent in minutes, no fees. So no issues there with the payout. But I have got, I think my account, that account's up to, I think, just over $2,000. So after 5 days, you can have a payment. Having said that, I think my highest day is about $950. So I may need to do another $400 or $500. What's my code? If you, I have a code, and that gives you 5% off. But if they pay me a commission, you need to use my link, and it is in the description of the video. But if you click my link and go through there, when you go through it, make sure, I'll show you, make sure you click on, I'll show you, because you'll end up paying more money than you need to. So if I go into Start Challenge, let's bring this in. So if I go into Start Challenge, click on Starter. For some reason, there's different structures you can use here. So Starter is $80. So if you use my link, $80, when you come to payment, use UKFT in capitals, and that'll take you another 5%, which takes out at 76, and that is included in the PA fee as well. That's all you pay. It's just a one-off fee. That's for the evaluation and the fees for the PA. So you've got a $3 profit target, 3 contracts, daily loss limit, which I think is good. It enables you to have a second crack of the whip. Drawdown $2.5 grand. If you go on to Starter Plus, costs an extra $40. You've got the same profit target. You've got less of a drawdown. The only difference is you've got no daily loss limit. Well, that doesn't make sense to me. And if you're going to Expert, you're paying more than double the price. It does make sense. So make sure you just click Starter and then go through it then. but it's $80, and if you use my link, I get a commissions for it, and then if you use my password UKFT, that'll knock it down to 76, and that's all you pay. So it's a good deal. I like that. I like that. For me, the most attractive thing is the end of day drawdown. They have the starter plus with 20% discount. Do they? Okay, that'll give you 20%. So if you use a UKFT, that gives you an extra 20% off. Then brilliant. $80 for the evaluation, $0 for the that's it. You don't pay anything. So, well, $76. If Karina's right, you may get a bit more off it. So just use a UKFT, and that'll give you whatever. It's always up to date with the current discount. And that's it, yeah. So when you pass it, you'll get an email after you've passed it. Within 24 hours, you're on a PA account. I think it took about 8 hours with me from when I passed it to when I was on a PA account. But yeah, it doesn't cost anything extra. So $76, which I think is a bargain. No more fees. That's it. That's all you pay. There's no monthly fees. That's it. That's why it's so attractive. Yeah, people can't get their head around that because they're not used to paying a live account fee. But no, you don't. That's it, one fee, and that's a lot. Yeah, it's a good deal, I think. I love the end day drawdown. See, I've been swing trading my one account overnight, and just letting it run. But if it goes up, comes back, and takes you out, it doesn't matter about the drawdown because it. Whereas obviously with Apex, it's a trailing drawdown. Anything scalping rules, they have a my fun feature, so you can see your accounts. Well, do you remember we had this conversation about the can you have 2 points? Can you scalp 2 points on who was we talking to? Charlie Baker, and he said he scalps for a couple of points. And do you remember I went into, in fact, I saved it somewhere. I went into, let me see if I can find it. I went into, that's interesting. 1 second. Yeah, I think they say 15 seconds. Oh, but, bear me 1 second. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I think they don't like microscalping, but I asked one of the moderators, and he said you can scalp for 2 points on the ES. Let me see if I can find. I saved the picture. I'm sure I saved it somewhere. So this is going to pop up. Okay. See, I can find this conversation we I asked one of the moderators on the Discord, can you scalp for 2 points? I think they're getting more relaxed about it. I can't find it now. I'm pretty sure I saved it, but no, I can't find it. No, it's gone. Was talking to Charlie Baker, and he scalps, and he said he had quite a few trades where he got out for a tick or break even or minus a tick, and they still paid him. So I think they're getting more relaxed to it. In fact, let me have a look in the Discord. It's on my message again. Yeah, I've typed a message in. See if the moderators answer me. They should do. To be honest with you, most trades I think are over 15 seconds, aren't they? Let's have a look, see if they answer me. I have just said, can I scalp for 2 points on the east and still get paid? I think the impression I got is they were after micro scalps, lots of them, I think, when I read it. See if they message me back. So let's have a look. So 2 legs up, 2 legs back. Let's have a look, see if we get something here. So leg and a leg. This breakout failed. So let's see if we get anything here. Okay, that's interesting. I don't think I would take that one, in all honesty. I'm not saying it won't work. I think I would much prefer to take the higher low just in case. Because if this is a channel, I think it is. This is the top of the channel. We're struggling to get up a bit there. So see how large it is anyway. Just flick back to Thomas Wade's. Yeah, it's a doji anyway, so. Oh no, they've put, oh no, it's all right. No, suddenly. I'll keep popping back, see if they answer me. Okay, so that was a doji anyway. Let's see what's happening here. Maybe this is a break. I'm going to put this back because this might be an area where we retest this. What time have we got? 2:51, okay. So I like the fact that we've held above this, which is encouraging. In fact, I could even move that up a fraction. Okay, excuse me just for a quick minute. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Do you know something? This could just be a big arrange day. It kind of looks like a range to me, that. So I won't be surprised if this came down. We've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 attempts to go higher. So hard to tell. Well, that was interesting. Just wondering if we can tweak this channel. Maybe not. Okay, we've had a break, a strong push up, so maybe a higher low. Can't be too far up though. Hmm. 23 ticks that. And we haven't got a hope here, I don't think. Salvatore, can anyone else here not request any payouts? Can not request any payouts. Are you saying you can't request any payouts, bud, are you? It's just not what you can do, unfortunately. So zoom out. Okay, if you've had that email, okay. I think there's been a few, not many. Let me actually. Sorry. Wire under my desk. Let me ask you a question. Are you had many payouts before? Oh, you never got that email. Okay. Some have got it. Now, I believe it's traders who are making... Yes, I had. Okay, but you haven't got the email. Okay, I believe it's traders that are making regular money. That's the impression I got. Okay. I believe it's traders that are making regular money, and I think they're looking at them, put them on probation to move on to a... I think it's a bit unfair, really, saying you can't take any money out now. You've got to keep the accounts. I think you've got to keep $2,600 in the account, which I think is wrong, because you didn't sign up based on that. You signed up based on knowing that the rules were you could take money out as long as you had over $2,600 in there. But now all of a sudden they're saying, now we've changed that, now you can't. Well, that's not what I signed up for. So I don't know how they can get away with doing that, really. I think it's a bit cheeky. But I don't exactly know why they're doing it. Yeah, well, they're supposed to be putting people on probation with the outlook, well, the possible outlook of them moving to a live account. But I don't know. I don't know the full story, but that's what I can gather. But I think it's only a small amount of people that are being put on this probationary. But I don't see how they can stop you withdrawing money. It's a bit unfair. But I don't know. Who knows? 2 days ago and they never answered. All I'd say to do is ask them again. Just keep emailing them till you get an answer. No, it's if you've not got an email, don't worry about it. Just trade as normal. It's only people who've got the email. This is so hard to trade this. We've had this, what you call maybe a breakout, and we've pushed back in. A small break, and now we're down again. I've got 7.5k in profits on my account, but it doesn't even let me request a payout. Have you traded for 10 days? That's unusual, that. Have you gone over the 30%? Remember, there's a 30%. So if one of your days was over 30% the total, so if you got 7.5 grand in there, one of your days can't be over 30%. So it's like 2,000 something, isn't it? Otherwise, you'll have to trade longer. So it's hard to know without knowing, you know, what profit you've had on some of your days and how many days you've been trading for. You follow the rules. So you're saying you haven't got an email. So if you haven't got an email, there shouldn't be a problem. I just message them again. Just keep messaging them until I get back to you. There's nothing more frustrating than when you've got a query and something's not right and you're waiting 2 or 3 days. So I just message them again if you're not sure. Yeah, there might be something wrong. Just send another message. Yeah, it's hard to know at the moment, isn't it? They're supposed to be coming out. Was it you, Karina, who mentioned it could be this week? They're supposed to be coming out with some new changes and new updates to things. But what I think Apex need to be, they need to be a little bit more specific. Some of these things are a bit vague, and it does concern you. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it, really? It's tough to know what to do. Quick question here. We're going sideways, and we've had 2 attempts to go lower. It's a bit of an inside bar there, but it's a bit unclear, isn't it? They got the same problem. We are supposed to coming out with. They're supposed to be coming out with some new information. Hopefully, we should hear something pretty soon. These changes, they need to be more specific. You can't say something in your rules and all of a sudden adapt them without giving people notice. I mean, I'm yet to talk to someone who said they follow the rules and haven't got a payout. So, you know, I've not had a problem. Anybody I know's had payments. So you just don't know, you know, because if you've not followed the rules, they don't pay you. That's why. But I don't know. I'm a bit on the fence at the moment. What's going on here? See, on this, looking on the NQ, we've had a break and a push up and attempted a new high, but you don't know what it's going to do here, see? Is it going to come down? Martin, how you doing, my friend? Emails could be lost. What matters is the factual situation. I think it's the same story, like with the videos. Requested some random pattern. Yeah. See, the issue. Well, what happened with you, Martin? Did you get your money? I thought the reason they were asking for videos is to show you that you were the one that were trading. Because I'm seeing more and more of these videos popping up on Facebook that are saying, we'll trade your accounts for you. If you don't pass them, you don't pay. So whether there's more companies doing that, so whether they want to see it's an actual person, you know, you are who you say you are type thing, that which is why they wanted to produce evidence. But I think some of the information's a bit vague at the moment, which is what I was hoping they were going to clear up some of this when they come out with these new rules. They were supposed to stop this from happening. Now, I don't doubt there are scammers out there that are trying to trade people's accounts and stuff like that, and that might be why they're doing it. That's the impression I got. Did you get your money, Martin? Did you? John need record videos. Yeah, I was paid after the video. My suspicion, it was flagged because IP changes. Okay. I trade via travel. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, see, if you usually trade from an IP address, a regular IP address, and you sign up to one of these firms that pass it for you, that will change IP addresses. So you'll connect your computer to them somehow. So that might be why it was flagged up. But there's some people on probation, and they send an email with a link saying why. They have some 2 ways to end in probation. Yeah, I don't fully understand the probation side of it. I spoke to Charlie Baker about that, and he said it's with the I think it's the impression I got is people who are making consistent money, they will put them on probation with the possibility of moving them onto a live account. Now, how true that is, I don't know. That's just what he told me. So I kind of went, okay, well, yeah, fair enough. But making videos, I think, is to prove who you are, and that might make sense. If you're using different IP addresses, they may think, You know, because the trouble is, now I had a family member in the police force, and they said, I remember them saying to me one night, "You don't know the half of what really goes on in your town. There's a lot, you know, more bad stuff goes on." So I suppose they're in the business, and they'll be on, you know, they'll know what's happening. So they're probably getting scammed left, right, and centre. So I suppose it was inevitable these companies need to look at ways of, you know, whatever walk of life you're in, it doesn't matter. The reason we pay higher car insurance is because there's people who scam the system. You know, they make out they've had accidents and stuff, and I think, you know, prop firms are no different. God, this is so tempting. This is a second entry long here. We dropped down and pushed up. There's a little double bottom, but I'm going to. I think I'm going to leave this. Because you just don't know. But yeah, I think it's more that there are companies coming out now saying we'll trade your accounts. All of a sudden you have a different IP address. The system might flag up and say this account's been, you know, flagged that are being traded on a different IP address. So it may be just something they look into. But I think if you remember when you first sign up to Apex, you have to send them pictures, don't you? I sent a picture of my passport and a picture of me holding it as well. So they know what you look like. And I think part of the video is to show you are you, and you're the one pulling the trigger. Rather than your strategy. I think that might be just a bit of a, you know, a reason to get, you know, to get people to send videos in, but I don't know. So looking on this NQ, there's kind of been a triple test here. I'm trying not to talk myself into a trade here. 1, 2, 3. Well, in fact, there's more. That's too far off the bottom for me, really. So taking a long here, I think, is risky. So on that note, I think I am done for the day. So I don't mind not taking a trade for the day. It's a good exercise in patience. I've been sat here for 3¼ hours and not taking a trade. And I think that's requires a pat on the back as well. It is part of it. Sometimes you don't. But taking a trade for 3 points, I only need a couple a week. If I can get 2 a week, that'll make me all the money I want. So it's been a tough trading day today. We're clearly going up, but there hasn't been a lot of setups really. There was one there, which in the scheme of things doesn't seem too bad. But before that, you can't trade any of this. You know, we struggled to get above this, then we pushed up to the next level. It is also my understanding to probation, either you break some rules or you withdraw too much. Yeah, the trouble is when we hear these stories, it's hard to get to the facts, but I think Apex need to come out and say, look, this is happening for this. The thing is, if they don't tell people why, people will make their own reasons up. You know, there'll be gossip and people always look for the worst things. So I think that they do themselves a favour by being open about it and saying why these things are changing, and it'll stop people gossiping. Because as soon as people start gossiping, they make their own reasons up why something isn't happening. And sometimes from a company's point of view, you don't want that. So I'm pleased you got your money, Martin, anyway. You're a good, consistent trader. You come in, I notice you trade once a day, and then move on, and that's all you can do. That is, so you're good at that. I always have a flick through your stream, mate, just to see your trades. But I think it's a good idea, one a day. It stops you getting into any bad habits, I think. And if you have a great day, then great. If you don't, there's no worries about sort of going on tilt or something like that if you're just taking your one trade and moving on. So good on you, mate. Good on you. So on that note, folks, I'm going to disappear now. My time runs out to trade in 16 minutes anyway. But at the moment, it's chopping around and I don't know what the hell's going on. So I'm quite happy to walk away. No trades. So good luck if you're carrying on trading. Failing that, I'll be back again tomorrow, Thursday, nearly another week gone. Unbelievable, isn't it? So, look, have a great day, have a great evening, stay safe, and I'll be back tomorrow. And hopefully we'll do it all again. So, I'll leave you to it. Bye for now.